welcome back for another Reiki session. Thank you so much for coming back to see me this evening. Tonight we are going to use another suggestion from one of you. Thank you all so much for suggesting different topics and ideas for content. I really appreciate it. This evening we are going to be working with autumn and seasonal changes. Okay, so if you live somewhere where there is actually seasons, right? We all know that in autumn the trees start to drop their leaves to prepare for winter. So we're going to be working with that theme of letting go of what is no longer serving us and creating space for new things to grow and blossom in our lives. All right? So just make sure that you're extra comfortable. I have a warm, cozy sweater on. It was actually cold enough in my house this morning to turn on the heater. So wherever you're at, get nice and cozy, and we will go ahead and get started. Okay? So we will light our intention candle. This evening we'll be using this white birch and cashmere candle. I mean, if there was a smell for like a warm, cozy sweater, that's what this candle reminds me of. And then we'll use my incense matches to light the candle. These are French vanilla. Alright, so just have a little look at this glowing candle. And with this candle, we are going to set an intention for this session to decide what is no longer serving us in this season of life. Decide what it is that we would like to let go of. And then by doing that, we are creating space to call in something new, something better for our next season of life. Maybe that'll be symbolic of letting go. Alright. So we're going to set this down. And we're actually actually going to do 2 different smoke cleanses this evening. So to start our session, we're just going to work with this white sage incense. And this is just to cleanse our space for our session. We have white sage, purify your soul, purifying, clear, and refreshing. I use the candle to light the incense stick. And then we will get started with our first cleanse. You can start breathing deeply here if you'd like. Just taking these nice, slow, full inhales and nice, slow, complete exhales. Okay, just breathing down into the belly, allowing that deep breathing to calm the body, calm the mind, calm the nervous system. And as you do that, this smoke is just going to gently pick up any sort of surface level energy that is not serving you. Maybe it doesn't even belong to you. You picked it up during the week. Okay, we're just letting that go. I apologize if you hear animals in the background. I have a lot of dogs and cats. One dog in particular I usually put in my stepson's bedroom. It's his dog. But he is laying in there with a broken leg and she gets hyper, so I can't really put her in there right now. I apologize. Alright, get a little smoke on me. So that's our first surface level cleanse that we're starting with this evening. We'll do another one in a little bit. But the first thing we're going to do this evening is take a couple of moments to think about, meditate on, and bring to mind what it is that we want to let go of in this season, okay? We live in a society and a culture, a lot of us, in the modern world where we're very attached to things and people and events, and like we get so comfortable in life that we don't ever want to let go of anything, right? And I really learned in these last few years, I think in part due to getting sober and having a yoga practice and learning about the cycles of life and the cycles of nature, but also just moving to a place that has actual seasons where I get to experience a spring, summer, fall, and winter. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I feel like I've just, in the last few years, really paid attention to that cyclical living. And I don't think that enough of us learn about it or think about it. And it's such a beautiful way to sort of align with nature and the way we live our life. So, anyways, we are going to just think for a moment. You can close your eyes. Just find a soft gaze on the screen. Okay? And think about this past year. Okay? Think about what worked for you, what didn't work for you. Okay? Maybe thinking about your personal life, your work life, your spiritual life, your social life. Okay? Any areas, just sort of glazing over those. Maybe picking out a couple things where you're like, this was really working for me this year and I definitely want to keep that. And then a couple of things where it's like, man, this really isn't serving a purpose anymore, or it's not bringing me joy. So I just want you to take a moment, meditate on that, and pick one thing in specific that you would like to let go of during this session. Okay? There might be multiple things, but I just want you to have one thing, the biggest thing on your mind. I collected some leaves from my yard that have started to fall off the trees. Okay. So just as Mother Nature lets go of its leaves, we are practicing the same thing here. Okay. So what is the leaf that you're letting go of? What is no longer serving you? Bring that to mind. Do you have it? All right, so now that we have that thing or habit or person, whatever it is that we want to let go of, we're going to keep it right at the front of our mind, okay? Starting to use the energy of these fallen leaves to loosen your grip on what you're letting go of. Sort of shaking it up. If you were trying to pull a rock or something out of the ground and it was really stuck in there, you started wiggling it, right? You can imagine that's sort of what we're doing here with the leaves. Energetically, we're wiggling that thing that you want to let go of, loosening your grip on it. Okay. Starting to remove Whatever that is for you, just starting to wiggle it out, pull it out of the mind. All right, now I'm going to come in with my hands and start to do the same thing. So just wiggling, starting to pull that out. Don't lose connection with your breath here. Keep breathing. Start to pull, 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 pull. Okay. Last time. So, take a couple deep breaths now. On the exhale, blow out of the mouth. And just imagine that you're blowing out like any little dust particles or leftover things from what I've just helped you to let go of, okay? So now imagine that thing or whatever. I'm just going to keep calling it thing, but whatever we just let go of, right? It was taking up space energetically, mentally, maybe emotionally. And now that we're letting it go, we've created this space inside of us. And so we're going to do another cleanse. You can imagine it like, let's say you move in, if you're into this stuff, maybe you move into a new house, right? And before you move all of your stuff into the house, maybe you light some incense or some sage and you do a smoke cleanse of the house to just clear out any stagnant, stuck energy. So now that we have that open space, we're going to clear it out energetically with another sage cleanse, an actual sage cleanse, a sage bundle. Okay? So we are going to light this sage and just clear that open space. Okay? Okay, I'm going to use a lighter to light this. Got that going. Keep breathing for me. If in your mind you just want to visualize like this big open space in the mind, in the energy, and this smoke is filling that space, clearing it energetically for you. Clearing out, clearing out, clearing out. Clearing that space. It's like we're making the space brand new, right? Full of possibility, new growth, new life will be able to flourish here. Okay, I think that looks good. Got all the corners and crevices, all of the corners and crevices. Beautiful. All right, so now we have this space, right? And we want to nurture this space for our next season of life, so that something new can grow there. And the first thing I want us to do before we send the Reiki and the crystal healing your way is just take a moment, okay? So we thought about what we're letting go of. Now I need you to think about what do you want to plant the seeds of for next year, right? What is it that you think you might like to call in? Is it a creative endeavor? Is it something in your work life? Is it something in your personal life with yourself, right? Your health, your spirituality, maybe a relationship with a loved one or a family member. So again, just take a moment to think about this. And for this session, just pick one thing that you would like to focus on for this coming season. What do you want to potentially fill that new space with? Do you have something? Yeah? Okay. Alright, so we are going to use a few different crystals to channel Reiki into that space, prepping that space for that new thing that you might want to grow in there. Alright? So just keep that thing in mind for your intention. And the first stone we're going to use today is this raw red jasper. Okay, so the red jasper is going to be used to ground and stabilize your energy. This is so you can feel safe and supported as you move into the winter months where we're going to be doing less, but dreaming more, nurturing ourselves more for that next season of life. And sometimes doing less can be really uncomfortable for us, right? and maybe we don't feel safe to do that, because when we're doing things, it distracts us, right? So that's what the red jasper is for, just to give you that sense of safety and security, so that you can sit with yourself this winter. You can dream and imagine and nurture that space that we just created. We're going to come up here and I'm going to take that energy, pressing it in, and then grounding it down. Okay, so we just pulled all that energy down to the root chakra, down to the base of the body, to ground that energy, ground yourself, and really support this period of self-reflection. Now, the next thing I want to do is use some flower agate. So I have this piece of flower agate, a little slab. And this flower agate, we're using the energy of it just to remind ourselves that something is going to bloom into this empty space that we just created. Okay? It doesn't have to stay empty forever. Depending on what you're letting go of, it might feel, maybe you're letting go of something that's really hard for you, right? And so you feel a little grief, a little sadness due to that space you're creating. And this agate is here to remind you that it's not going to feel that way forever. So new possibilities, new ideas, new passions can fill that space, and they will eventually. Okay, and we're going to bring this energy down to the heart. Okay, because if you are feeling any sadness or grief from what you're letting go of, you're probably feeling it in the heart. So we're just going to massage that energy into the heart. All right. Okay. The next stone I would like to use is this piece of citrine. We used this in our last session, so you can see a little bit of orange gold color there, and then the clear quartz in it. So we are using this stone to enhance your connection to your creativity and your passions. The last thing I want for you is to fill that space with something that doesn't bring you joy, that doesn't light you up, right? That kind of makes this whole process pointless. So we want to make sure that we are filling that space with something that we love. Something that brings us joy. And then we're going to bring that energy down to the sacral chakra, which is the home of our creativity, our pleasure. I'll just rub that in down there. And the last crystal that we're going to use is my golden healer. So this golden healer is going to be used to help connect us to our intuition, our inner wisdom. And this is really about trusting ourselves in whatever it is we pick to fill that space with, right? There might be something you really want to do, but you're letting your logical mind stop you from doing that, right? Because you're like, oh, logically, me starting this hobby at 50 doesn't make sense, or me wanting to change my career doesn't make sense, you know? Sometimes that logic is good for a lot of things, us having a logical, reasonable mind, but sometimes we need to set that aside and allow that sort of inner spark, that inner wisdom guide us. So this golden healer is going to help you connect to that. And then we're going to connect this energy at the third eye to all of the chakras below it, okay? So we're going to go from third eye to throat so that you aren't afraid to share what it is you want to do. Third eye to heart so that you do it with passion and love. Third eye to solar plexus, giving you the power to do it. Third eye to sacral, again connecting into that creativity, that passion. And third eye to root, allowing you to feel safe in your decision. Just ground that all the way down. Okay. I'm going to try to turn this so you can see my cat. That's my cat, Bird. There's a little paw sleeping under the door. He really wants in. Alright, you guys. Here is Bird. He's been making all the noise at the door. Say hi, Bird. Say hi, Kiki. I went ahead and let him in because we're almost done. So, now that we have done all of that Reiki healing, just going to warm up my palms here. Channel in some of that Reiki energy. Coming all the way down the body. Some sweet orange essential oil. I'm just going to use a little of this to energize and brighten up that space we just created, inviting a little bit of sweetness and warmth into it, and just topping off the session with the energy of this beautiful essential oil. Vibrant, sweet, warm, that is going to be it for this evening's session. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you sleep very well, and I will see you again soon. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. You could leave a kind comment. You could leave a suggestion for a topic or something you'd like to see covered. I really appreciate those, and I think it's really fun to have y'all interacting with the content in that way. So thank you for being here. I will see you again soon. Goodbye.